Good morning, red crystal serpents. Another snowstormy morning over here. Amazing. 2 mornings in a row. Oh, I meant to check out the weather. I didn't. It's another challenging coming here for me today. I've got nothing, nothing if I don't have words. Have a fantastic, since the blue night, or maybe even the day before, white wind. In this wave spell, the wizard, the inward looking, I'm very deeply connected with my dreams. I dream intensely and I remember clearly, even if it's just aspects, but these are very nice for me. Dream connection, and this morning I admit I think I put my phone on snooze over an hour, but I'd set the alarm really early, and then I knew I could, and it kept me consistently in this lucid dream state. Very interesting and very telling. And I'm dreaming of, stop it, Tatjana, I'm dreaming of a white Christmas. Can we repeat Christmas, please? It's white now. This dichotomy in perception, my own perception, as such, there's a great clarity with regards to some of the unclarities in my life or in my manifested. It's not even true to call that my manifested reality. I'm very blue monkeying again. It's not so much the illusion, but the way I feel. I can really see how my feeling filters are making me imagine that's my reality. I don't really want to go too deep into that in practical terms. I'm a bit embarrassed to do so. So I'm not going to do so. But like the dreams and the theme centers around abundance. And I spoke about this at length. The abundance of each moment. The incredible abundance of my life, even if it does not express necessarily, and it's very relative, what does that mean? In some ways, and then I manifest my own wherever I'm still in lack consciousness, and it's like mildly annoying. I mean, I say I'm connected to the programmer, right? But there are programs still running, and maybe it is exactly that. It takes a while to unlodge them. Sometimes it's like, I remember back in the days when I was into jailbreaking my iPhone. I absolutely adored that. I loved that. I loved all of the options. I knew my phone backwards. I knew every setting. I knew, like, oh man, and the jailbreak version, when you jailbreak your phone, it becomes like a real, like iPhone has so many restrictions and so many, they're so behind Android. I can contest to that in so many ways, and yet I don't consider moving back to Android. I don't know why. I don't know what that is. They've got some magical hold on us. Anyway, I totally stopped all of that now. It's like, can that phone just please function? But every time I look at a friend of mine, any of my friends with their Androids, they look up something, dunk, 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 dunk. That's the speed of their phone. I'm like, oh, your phone is fast. And he's like, yeah, it's not an iPhone. It's like this running joke. I mean, maybe if you have the latest iPhone, mine is like, I don't know what that is, even 8, 11, something. They just like milking us. Anyway, back when I jailbroke the iPhone, I wanted to get rid of all the apps on the phone that I wasn't using, like Stock and this health, blah blah, and I don't know, whatever apps I wasn't using. And I would get a message now and then. Are you sure you want to remove this? There may be components that this app uses to work that are vital components of other apps. If you remove the app, it may compromise the functioning of the other apps that are using the same parts, whatever. And I was like, no, okay. And I didn't delete them. And if I'm reprogramming, for me personally, I like understanding the code. I like programming. I'm into understanding the code. We don't have to be. It's kind of like driving from A to B, and some people are like, I put it in my navigation. I don't need to know the roads. I don't need to know how to get there. I don't need to remember it. I don't need to remember how to get back, because going back, I just put it in my GPS and that's it. Other people are like, no, I really want to know the road. If I want to be able to go without a GPS, or I want to just know what's along the route. I want to know the names. I want to know the map of this place. So, different ideas on, how much detail of something we need to know, or we want to know. I don't need to know how my car works. I just need to get in there and drive. If it doesn't work, I take it somewhere, please fix. Somebody else says like, no, I want to exactly know how this works, because if something doesn't work, I want to be able to diagnose it myself. And I understand back in the days the cars were less computerized. You could do a lot yourself. Nowadays, with the computerization of the cars, it's become almost impossible. However, so here I am sharing where I am not successful necessarily, or I believe I'm not, or I am actually running a kind of code that might be really outdated, and I haven't let go of the code. Yesterday on the spectral tone, while I was here talking, I was like in a really good mood, so to say. It was really nice. I felt really great. And the day turned out so weird. It was it wasn't a roller coaster, because it wasn't linear. It was all happening at the same time. At so many frequencies. The spectral tone really, like I wasn't even thinking about it, but I guess it happens if we like at all these aspects of myself, the spectral, the one ray of light in a prism breaks itself into the rainbow spectrum. And I felt all the spectrums of, what kind of English is that? Like the spectrum of emotion, sensation, thoughts. Like I was dancing wildly, ecstatically, and then in that same moment, I would feel that sharp pain in my soul of disconnect, longing, loneliness, just a bundled up together conglomerate of we are hurting. This hurts. And then I just let it wash through, and then make a decision. Am I choosing? What am I choosing? How am I dealing with this? Do I let it arrest me? No, I'm not letting it arrest me. Go answer it with water, because very often it's I find it that kind of like ache in the chest, that not physical. It feels very similar to extreme thirst. So I'm like, okay, have some water. I answered it with water several times, and it worked. But it didn't even matter about working. It was just the spectral tone yesterday. I realized, like, oh my God, I'm just like going through a wild ride of maybe the entire wave spell, physically, emotionally, mentally, like had the sense of trying to hold on to something, as if I'm sitting inside here each time I reach out to hold on to something or someone, or to reach out to someone, there's no one there, which I recognized immediately as that's an old pattern. That's an old experience, or that's part of the collective experience. It's no longer an active code in me. And if it is so by choice. Then I choose to reproduce a state that I'm familiar with, which is no one is there. And I think a part of me is not wanting to leave that space. And I'm not sure what influence that part has. I'm not sure if it's just like a flavor in my pie, or like a color on my palette, or whether it's actually a deciding, not a deciding force, like a really influential, a field of stronger influence, keeping parts of me attached to the non-affluent, not affluence is the wrong word, abundant, non-abundant, unabundant, the opposite of abundance, lack consciousness. Like, they coexist, but is this, how much power and reality does this part still have? Or this memory, is it a memory and I haven't, I can repeat myself now ad infinitum here, but those are like, that was really like, oh, can I let it go? Can I let it be? I could let it be, but it was nonetheless challenging to my, I want to do something about it, part of my mind. There's like a tug of war. I can't do anything about it. I want to do something about it. I can't do something about it. You're not going to do the right thing about it. You're just going to shut me off. You're just going to distract yourself and shut me off. Don't do anything about me. I'm here. And I'm like, all right. Surrender. I can't wait for tomorrow. World Bridger. Oh, well, yesterday turned out to be a really strange day. Really strange. So today, Crystal Serpent. I come in with a bit of trepidation, because when I woke up this morning, I learned my lesson yesterday. I was very much in touch with I didn't immediately take myself into beta brain podcast mode. But at some point I did touch on it. I did go there a little bit, and I was like, I have no idea. I feel nothing right now either. Sometimes when I go there, it just starts. The flow just starts. This morning it was like, there's nothing. Void. And then I get nervous. And one of the reasons that happens is because yesterday I listened to yesterday's podcast last night. And while I flow nicely with some of it and had a good old laugh at some of it, there are parts of it where I go into judgment mode and criticize myself mode. And when I do that, immediately a part of me says, okay, shut it down. Just stop it. It's like, oh, a free radical. It's not a free radical. It's just it's a radical. But since I'm free, I must be a free radical. Like a radical. I can shut this thing down any minute, any time, any day. I can delete it all. I delete all these podcasts off my phone. I don't have them, so they're online now. If I would want to keep them, why would I want to keep them? I'm training myself in letting go, because every moment is it's abundant. Everything is here now. Why try to remember anything? Why hold on to a beautiful memory? They come, they can be there, they've been lived. This moment is, I'm here to make a beautiful memory now. So now I feel my part of my mind is saying, you are waffling. How is this in any way, shape or form relevant? And then a part of my mind says, but I'm not here to please someone else. I'm not here to speak, asking myself, how is somebody who's listening to this? And then part of my mind says, like, what are you doing? This is just for yourself. And then I check out, oh, look at the snow. Just look at this gorgeous falling snow. And so I'm overthinking or observing the way my mind works. And today is Crystalline Serpent. Cooperate, the crystalline tone, 12. Where were we last time? Crystalline, human. I'd like to verify that. I'm verifying it. Very different. Crystalline human was easier for me to talk about than the crystalline serpent. Vital force, survive instinct. The serpent, this is a podcast, so it's a place of words. To lead us. Am I leading us? Am I leading us? What is our when the white wizard wave spell? The crystalline tone, dedicate, universalizing, cooperation. Somewhere it says like complex stability. It's again our relationships. It reminds us of duality. In the tone 12 is a combination of 2 dots and 2 lines. It's like doubled up polarity. And it's tone 2, very linked to tone 2 and 10. So how did we manifest our challenge? If we want to come together and talk, or if we want to just ask ourselves, how did we deal with our challenges in this wave spell? The challenge being the blue eagle, our vision, our creative mind, our vision for ourselves, for our future, individually, collectively, and the link between the two. To be the best version of ourselves. Some criticize this constant self-improvement drive, whatever that means. We're evolving. Some of us have to self-improve. Some of us have to just like stop self-improvement and just be. And maybe it's the same thing. Each get to decide. The wizard and then how do we manifest that? And we manifested it in this wave spell on tone 10, blue night, the abundant, the field of abundance. I could go into quantum physics now and the many fields, the boson field and the Higgs field and all these fields that where all the particles, they actually are waves. When I listen to that, I'm like, oh my God, you're talking about the Tzolk'in. Everything is a wave. Every particle is a wave. It's particle and wave. Behaves like a wave. which is why when the wizard wave spell, my understanding of this wave spell or of the Tzolk'in is so limited. If I was I'd love to be putting this together with like really quantum analysis, the quantum world. And then there's this talk about plasma. There's this plasma. Everything is plasma, fourth state of matter, plasma. Everything, I don't understand anything about it, but everything is, but we always come up with a new paradigm and then we find proof for it. If in physics and science now there's some proof of finding whatever plasma, the idea of it has been around a very, very, very long time. And so we're shifting paradigms. But I feel that science on the quantum level, on the plasma level, it's really closing the circle with spiritualities, with our emotional systems, to no longer separate everything. The physiological world is not separate from our emotional world. The earth is not separate from us. Even if we look in 3D, it looks as if it's separate, but it's not. We're not. And we're all part of this great being. Greater than Earth, greater. Maybe the galaxy is a being. But if we are part of it and we can take ourselves, if we're looking at the galaxy from the outside or from the inside, or we can take, yeah, but we're not looking, we're taking something we've created to look at the galaxy from the outside. We're still inside it. It's like taking a photo of ourselves. Okay, Crystalline Serpent. How have you manifested the challenge? And how were you crystallizing? Now I'm going in the conscious world. Yeah, why not? We can't go in the unconscious, can we? Sun, it's what we know, it's what we're conscious of. The inner being, the wizard looking inward, timelessness. The challenge of the blue eagle, who may in this case be very much wanting to plan and be in time and place things in time. There may be a challenge between the two of those. But if the blue knight is planetary, so today we could say we could form a little triangle, never losing sight of the wizard. The eye of the wizard, there's a third eye in the wizard that's open upward to the top, to up. But it's not up, it's like the central channel. It could also be, it looks to me sometimes similar to the glyph of the dragon. They have this opening at the top, like a volcano opening. It's my association with it, so it looks like. And the wizard too, maybe it's a third eye on the top of his head. Maybe it's the opening through the entire body, down to the earth, inward. When we close our eyes, where's up, where's down? We can go right through the earth, and there's no up and no down. She's round, everywhere's up, everywhere's down. Center is everywhere. And the eagle as the challenge. However, each of us got challenged. May also be the serpent, the antipode of the eagle, may really be the challenge. Our bodies, our kundalini, our vital life force energy in this wave spell, which is a body thing, an inner thing. we can use external means to buffer up our vital force, but, and then I say, well, if I take something or if I do something on the outside, that outside is still part of the inside. There's no out there. So it's all part of me. I'm just manifesting something that is outside of my physical body, but it's still inside my plasma, everything body. That is just so impractical, Tatiana. Is it? Yeah, well, abundance, blue night on the planetary tone. And then today, we can really see for me it's a bit too early. I want to go through the day to reflect and to realize this tone 12 bringing all of me to the party. Crystal Serpent is probably a really good day to be physically close. Probably a really good day to make love, to engage in anything tantric, which is two inner beings meeting through the body, dancing, partying, being connected with our bodies, connecting wizard. It's interesting for me to see, it's not like this in every wave spell. In this particular one, the analog, the best friend of the wizard, the yellow seed. Quatsch. The antipod. I have to apologize. Yesterday I also mixed up analog and occult when I talked about the rotation of the tonal wheel. It happens. The antipod, the furthest away, the seed, is always in every wave spell on position 11 of the wave spell. So that in itself is worth an investigation. Our own antipods liberate us. The opposite sign is what frees us from too much of ourselves, and also it also helps us to realize where we are not true to ourselves. And in this case, tone 12, today the serpent is the analog, the best friend, the most like itself energy of the serpent, of the wizard. The blue hand, which is the occult, is not directly present. But it comes, it's the next wave spell. Oh, that's also very powerful. Oh, that's something I'm going to let reverberate. Blue hand, healing, knowing, accomplishment. But this serpent and the wizard, the connection is such a fine one. The body and the inner being, the connection between the body and the inner being, our relationship with our body. This divine collection of cells, this divine collection of energy, of fields, all these quantum fields converging, and something manifests you and me. And as we become quantum in our consciousness, we won't lose, I don't think we'll lose sight of our individuality, because until such a time as that has served and done and we evolve off of that into the next thing, whatever that may be, whenever that may be, but for the time being we'll have a different awareness of our connection to it all, and it all being connected to us, and how every thought, truly every feeling, every thought, the influences they have. And I genuinely believe it will make us take responsibility in a whole different way. It will be playful, it will not be stressful. It will be empowering. Tone 5 stands for empowerment, and the serpent is in tone 5. In the last wave spell we've been through, in a red dragon, being the empowerment of our bodies, the empowerment through our bodies, the empowerment of our vital force, and how we are connected. Consciousness connects, and how long can we live, how healthy can we be. Those become decisions we will be able to make, as we already are making those decisions, but we're not aware of how we're doing that. And it will probably mean that more and more we will withdraw our attention from certain external stimuli, and we will become more and more attentive to our inner worlds and our inner workings, which will change. It will change the outer world. It changes the way we relate to ourselves, and it changes the way we relate to each other. And I keep going into this vision of humanity. Have I done that in the last wave spell also? It changes, it will change everything. And as more and more do that, we're changing the collective field. And if only by changing how we ourselves filter and experience it. I am so curious. What will it be like to live in a world where people are generally allowed to fulfill themselves, to fulfill their own potential? And I'd say allowed because in my books, that's not the case at the moment. The very school system is trying to press us into a version of a human that was needed for whatever the past. It's very disempowering for the future now, since the future's already changed. It's not a repeat of the past. So going through a school system, as the school system still predominantly, we're dissolving it, or as we speak, and something new will come. Something that, for me, I wish something comes that honors the soul, that honors the individual that has embodied itself, which is a part of all of us. That we all honor each child, each soul that enters into a body as with a welcome, because that's a part of ourselves incarnating, showing up as a human. And then we get to let that soul expand itself with the gifts it brings, whoever it is, into this collective playing field on planet Earth. And then to see how life, how society becomes self-generating, self-regulating, auto, auto-generating, blue storm. In the wizard wave spell, it's rhythmic. That tone was rhythmic. We've been there. Very linked to the sun. The blue storm and the sun are the most like the two. They're analog kins. So consciousness, life itself, it becomes self-generating. We no longer need of external authority figures to rule us. It is just, we will live by coherence. It will be understood if we all want to drive on the streets of our places. So it's obviously understood that the streets have to be in good shape. And we'll collectively take care of that, which is the way we're being told that the tax system is exactly for that. We're all paying into a collective pool so that the collective infrastructure can be maintained. But our lovely governments aren't administering those funds in the best interest of the collective, hardly. In some places they've done a good job of it for a long time, in many places not at all. So when I talk like that, I'm often met, especially with the older generation who have a harder time imagining a different kind of human from who they themselves either are or the world that they've predominantly lived in, where corruption is the name of the game and there's no really faith that corruption is a phase. Human development is also phasal. Phases may take thousands of years, perhaps in alignment with astrological shifts. Who knows how it hangs together? But why should we assume that we will always be corrupt? I can only assume that if my window of observation is so limited to a humanity that has been corrupt within that window of my observation, and I'm not able to allow the possibility of change, or that maybe I can't look further back and realize humans have been without corruption in a different cycle of their being, and maybe we're not developing linearly, maybe we're going around in circles, in spirals, and we're going through very mature phases, very immature phases, very this, very that, but we keep going round. Yeah, you can be 80 and be back in diapers. You know, it's like, yeah, okay. Who knows? But if we want to be scientific, science, spiritual sciences, third dimensional, multidimensional science, I don't know about third dimensional science, but certainly multidimensional science tells us that our thoughts, our minds, and our emotional states influence reality. They influence matter. They influence plasma. So if we want proof, we can find it. And that means we are responsible. We have influence. We do influence. And if only our own experience, that's enough. What more would we want to influence? Yeah, I'm going around in circles. I always talk about that. But to me, that is the key. If I cannot influence my own And when I say when I want to influence my experience, like what? How I experience a thing. There's a snow falling out there. Some people, it's like, oh my God, and they have a really negative response to it. To them, it like spoils their day because now they have to go shovel snow. I don't. Or some are like, oh my God, I'm going to go out there. It's going to be slippery and I can't walk. Scary. No, 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 no. Yeah, well, you can't. That's a fact then, if it's a fact. Are you going to let that make you miserable? Am I going to let that make me miserable? Or do I find another way? Do I just find a way to not let, what can I influence? Yellow human. For someone with so much antipathy, what is antipathy? Someone who, I don't like the yellow human seal. I don't know why. I do not know why, even though in my own wave spells, like transcend the cosmic human, I should surely love, I love humanity, but there's something about the yellow human that's just like, ugh. I have to admit it. I think I really struggle with the shadow aspects of the human, because I'm like all about ideals. And then I want to be all about compassion. So I gotta be compassionate. You don't have to be compassionate with the ideal state. You can be compassionate with the not so ideal states. But okay, the shadow of white dog. When I can't love, when I don't love, when I'm not in universal love or not in self-love, whatever. Anyway, so this influence, I go on with the human with free will all the time. Simplicity, reducing things to simplicity. I can go and make myself a cup of tea. I mean, how abundant is that? I can choose to make a tea or not. I have several kinds of tea in the house. I can choose which kind of tea I want. And to learn to deal with choices. So important. Options. Body, crystalline. Am I going to love and leave us here? Oh, I have waffled. I am heavily judging myself right now. I'm not really. Something in me feels out of alignment. And I can see that it's this self-criticism that is not, if even my language is not giving me the peace now. I've already made myself influenced. My inner state, my inner wizard, my inner state is influenced by my mind, lunar ego. My mind, my judgment is influencing how comfortable I feel within my own skin. There you have it. And I'm just observing that. I'm sharing it. And I'm observing what that makes me want to do. What is my response to this feeling? Do I want to push it away? Do I want to just do something? Do I let it arrest me? Do I focus on it, let it get so big that I land up in a hole? Is it a stumbling block? It has, if I really go in there, I can feel it has a lot of traction. Because it's a theme, it's like a leitmotif in my life. It has a lot of power. Self-criticism, or my own sensitivity toward criticism, and then it comes in tow with an inability. I feel it again. I feel a powerlessness is also present here, because I sense my head thinks there's an inability to distinguish, is that criticism warranted or not? And I am my own, there's only me here. Me and my judgment. There's like no external force that can validate my own criticism, which then would lead me to, okay, so is that crystalline cooperating? Is the criticism from someone I trust and value, something that I should take and then I can adjust? What am I adjusting to? What is my own inner critic? What value do I give to my own inner critic? How self-generating can I be? How serious can I take my own criticism? Can I trust it? Who is the one doing the criticizing? Is it a fear, an aspect of myself that is afraid to make mistakes, afraid to look like a fool, afraid to be criticized from the outside? Why am I afraid to be criticized from the outside or to look like a fool? Who am I trying to please? These are, for me, some shadow aspects of the yellow human, maybe also shadow aspects of the sun. Where's my identity? Why am I subject to... I can be criticized, there's nothing wrong with that. My mind knows that, but a part of me does not. It's as if being criticized is somehow linked to a fear of death. Being negated in my whatever. It's a big thing. I can open it, I don't need to. Can see it's a really, really big thing. I can overthink it. And now this overthinking becomes everything like, does it come with compassion or does it come with criticism? Overthinking or spiritual bypassing or these kinds of concepts which maybe not everyone, but I hear them as if they're like damning criticism. But maybe that's just me who, as if it comes from, I can see where it comes from. And I don't want to go back to that cause in the last 2,000 years and this and this and that, where we've really, there's this conditioning away from self-love, away from complete acceptance of everything. And then just does it work or doesn't it work? This condemnation, this losing your life for speaking a truth or not speaking a truth, who cares, but like losing life and suffering and torture and for being who we are. That theme still, to me, I think there's a resonance on some level with that. Like there's a mortal fear somewhere very, very, very deep in, maybe it's memory in the cells, it's a memory in the DNA. What is it? How real? How does memory relate to reality? What is real? What is reality? That definition is just, to me, cannot use that word without defining it. But if I hold a memory that is even older than my lifetime, or that's part of the collective memory, or that is part of, I've been told about horrible stories happening to people, like the Inquisition or whatever, and now my empathy level puts me in that position, and I think I learn at a certain age that is maybe below the age of 7, when I'm just in download mode, and then I hear about these things. My system can't filter out whether that's happening to me or not, or whether that's real, or whether that's now, or whether that's a story. It is so horrible to be told, and not to be told as a fictional story, but to be told as reality. This is what people have done to each other. This is what people still do to each other. Torture is not off the planet, right? So yeah, there's a part of me that can't separate itself. There's a part of me that can't just go into, oh well, but it's not happening to me. You see, it's the total opposite of what I spoke about yesterday, or maybe it's exactly the same, that some part of me wants to become active, to stop or change something, but it's not happening. It's not happening to me, it's not happening in my environment, I can't do anything about it. It's happening in my imagination. And then we know how the mind, the subconscious mind, the mind, even the, not the conscious mind, but some part of our brain, whatever, can't differentiate between what's imagined and what's really experienced. It responds in exactly the same way, which makes the blue night planetary in this wizard wave spell. What we imagine, or when the blue monkey is planetary. Which wave spell is the monkey planetary in? That would be the wind, the white wind. Interesting. Our imagination is a power tool, and we haven't really learned. We're learning now how to use it, and I'm mighty glad about that. Anyway, I lost my train of thought. I'm going to stop this here. It's not a happy, bubbly podcast today, so I don't blame you if you didn't make it all this way to here. I'll never know. And that's fine. Being real. So if I want to, if I want to take myself one more round on this carousel, because I want to dissolve this criticism issue. What would I be criticizing? What would I criticize myself for? Talking too much? Waffling? Maybe. Or I get insecure, yesterday I listened to myself. There was a point where I thought, this is the perfect point to stop. And then I start another chapter. But if I'm in flow and I start another chapter, nobody's forced to listen. That's the whole point. Then another criticism is are you just spreading your opinions? Yeah, so what? I can. Are they cast in stone? What if they're wrong? What if you're wrong? Yeah, so what? What if I'm wrong? Then I'm wrong. I'm not making a claim to be right. I'm just here sharing my energy, my time, my perspective for whoever wants to hear it. And that's not for me to decide. I'm enjoying this process. And I'm enjoying this exploration of and of my relationship to the world. So this inner critic, I can't ignore it and say, go away, I'm giving you no power. Okay, yes, sometimes I can do that. I've learned to do that with fears, but I can only successfully do that when I know exactly when the fear comes, and I know exactly, I'm so centered, I know what it comes with, I know right now you don't get to play here because you have no business being here. I'm having an experience that I'm enjoying. You want to come along? You're not welcome. I can do that with absolute conviction because I have a relationship with my fear. So it's like it just doesn't get to come along anytime it chooses. But there are times when it comes along and it gets my attention. And it should then get my attention. But that's the relationship where it's okay, now is not the time for you. Come back later. And now the critic, I need to develop a similar relationship with that. I haven't got that relationship yet going in that same manner. Because at this point in time, I'm aware that I'm finding that inner critic very uncomfortable. It comes with a lot of shit that I don't want to feel, hear, have. I Because once I engage, I have to engage with all of it. But I know now, I've learned from my process of engaging with fear how that process of engagement works. So that's good. Note to self. That's good. You got this. Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid of the inner critic. It must be, it will be a combination of illusion and value. Illusion and value. And it's actually really important that you distinguish or differentiate or understand or understand that who's criticizing, who is that voice, and what does it do. So that's my contribution to the collective today, to my own inner collective, to the multitude of Tatiana, the multitude of us, all the parts of me that I'm reflecting, that I'm a part of you, you're a part of me, in Lakesh Alakim, you are another myself. No, I am another yourself. Yes, you are another myself. We are another ourselves. We are one ourselves. I wish us, what do I wish us? A blessed, crystalline wizard serpent day. Timelessly aware of the now in our bodies, feeling the vibration of the cells of the energy body, of the link, the fields, the mind, space, emotion, how it merges, how it dances, how it converges, how it separates, the unity into multiplicity that is still a unity, depending on how far down the rabbit hole we go. And how it all perfectly, it manifests perfection. The manifested world is manifested perfection. I mean, yeah. Who am I to say I am not manifested perfection? With all my flaws, and who calls a thing a flaw? Question for another day. Although we have the yellow warrior as the occult, the medicine today when I get uneasy in my body or when I feel uncomfortable, the yellow warrior might be very much medicine. Ask a question or bring in some light or ferry me over this river of doubt, carry me over, lead me somewhere to a shore that I can rest on if the ride is too wild. We have the eagle in the antipod position. Give me wings when I need to fly. Be my wings. Be my vision. I am vision. And then we have the wizard. And then we are, of course, today guided by the earth. That's very beautiful. The earth is also very much to do with presence, perfect manifestation. The question that comes up is, what's the difference between the earth and the world? I'm not going to answer that. invitation to be cooperative from our inner being, from our bodies, with our inner beings, with our bodies, and acknowledging each other's inner beings, each other's bodies, each other's collective self-experience. Each one of us acts from our own inner base. And sometimes we can't understand why another person says or does a certain thing, and then we come from our own lack of understanding and criticize that. Oh, have I just answered my own question about my own inner self-critic? Oh boy. Yeah. Oof. Compassion. The answer is compassion. Is the answer compassion? Something says compassion with the insecurities of other people, or the false securities, or the right securities which we don't understand and we consider false. I mean, who is to say, like, can we just be that compassionate with ourselves? I don't understand why you're saying that, why you're doing that, or why they are like that. Because I can't understand it, they are wrong. That's a big one. All right. I'm stalling letting go, I notice. Why is that? That would be opening another chapter. When I sit here and I talk like that, I'm either bypassing into a comfort zone, avoiding something else, or I'm actually in a comfort zone. And I'm kind of sort of like feeling a bit of a fear of losing myself or this space or the connection to this space. And that happens. It does happen. And when that happens, it hits hard. But can I remind myself of the fact that I always come back into alignment? I always come back into connection. I always come back into alignment. Why am I sometimes so afraid to lose alignment? And I'm not consciously even aware of it. I'm just now becoming really aware of it. Being out of alignment is like really uncomfortable, or it comes with all kinds of, it's like, it feels as if I become a sleepwalker, and then I do and say things that I'm not in control of and cause damage, and I can see exactly where that comes from. That's really old programming. That needs healing. The serpent is also a really, really, really powerful, potent healing energy, because the body remembers and the body holds the healing codes. Serpent, wizard, eagle, and warrior. Today, including the earth. That's a healing combination. 5 of them, 5 seals, quintessential healing. In the wave spell of the red serpent, the quintessential tone 5 is the red moon. We're still heading there. It's the electric tone in the blue hand wave spell. It serves and links and bonds and electrifies and energizes the blue hand. I'm looking forward to exploring that. Healing energized by feeling, flow, universal water, moon, reflected light, all the things the red moon represents. Blood, purification. And the serpent also stands for purification. And one of the reasons the serpent stands for purification is because of its link with the red moon on tone 5. Every seal is deeply, deeply, deeply linked to the seal 5 tones before it and 5 tones after it. Because they're linked through this quintessential overtone. Each seal is an overtone to the 5th seal before, and the 5th seal following, it's its own overtone or whatever, like it's this really powerful link. So, if we need healing anywhere, may it happen. May we allow it. May we get out of the way so that the flow can flow freely. All right. I wish you a blessed red crystal serpent day. Aho.